I don't need your goddamn equality. I don't want none of your goddamn handouts. What I want is for black people to be left alone. You think I want to be here on a Friday? My daughter's in Palm Springs, California, in a pool, and I gotta be standing on a porch in this hot ass sun, because you all want to pick on black people.
The family hasn't left their house since the incident. Feel me? Because the whole block, the whole New York has just been spinning on their block. And when I tell y'all people are spinning on their block, it's not just black people. It's black Americans, it's Caribbeans, and it's Latinos spinning on their block, standing in front of their house like, yo, what you...
Fuck you, Peg!
Fuck you! No explanation!
Fuck you, Peg! Get fucking down! Get fucked up!
They want Louisiana's magic. This content is for educational, cultural, and spiritual awareness only. Protected under free speech. Viewer discretion is advised. If you're easily triggered by truth, this page is not for you. Like, follow, share, and if you need help with your status correction, click the link in my bio or inbox me directly. Let me break this down for y'all real quick. After Essence Fest flopped, everybody's asking, what happened? Why the energy was off? Why it didn't feel like home? That's because they tried to sneak in a cultural swap and New Orleans ain't never been for sale. Let's start here. Essence Magazine got new ownership and they tried to use Essence Fest to push an identity shift, blending in African themes, flashy costumes, and performances that don't match Louisiana's spirit. But here's the problem. You can't recreate culture when you never carry it. Louisiana, especially New Orleans, got a soul that can't be duplicated. We move with grace, style, rhythm, and ancestral memory. We don't shout for attention when we embody it. So when they tried to make Essence Fest about them, it fell flat. Now let's go deeper. Why do you think they brought the Super Bowl here? That wasn't no accident. They're trying to tap into the energy grid of this land because Louisiana is more than a state. It's a nation within a nation. And it's the only place in the U.S. that still holds the original frequency of our ancestors. From the drums in Congo Square to the jazz funerals to the sacred foods passed down from generation to generation. We are the culture. We are the inheritance. And they want access to that energy because theirs ain't working no more. Now go back. Remember 2005, Katrina. That wasn't just a storm. That was a spiritual reset. Now look at what just happened in Texas in 2025. The timing, the flooding, the tragedy. And if you paid attention, who was affected? It wasn't the men. It was the young women. That's not random. Anytime there's a spiritual shift, feminine energy gets targeted first because it's the gateway. They're trying to mimic old energy practices, but this time Mother Earth ain't letting it work because Louisiana's spirit is still intact. And now that we're waking up to who we really are, they're getting nervous. Let's talk lineage because this ain't just about culture. Biblically, we come from Shem, not Ham. Ham is the origin line of continental Africans, but we are indigenous to the Americas. We didn't come here. We were already here. That whole you from Africa narrative, it was created to confuse you, to disconnect you from your land, your rights, and your inheritance. And when they say, y'all stealing our culture, baby, Shaka Zulu was from right here. They moved the names, changed the borders, flipped the script, and told y'all Africa was the source. But the power has always been in America, more specifically in Louisiana. So now they're bringing in events, fashion, and foreign dances, thinking they can overwrite us. But Mother Nature knows what's real. The ground still remembers. And this land still vibrates with our sound. TikTok CTA, if you feel this in your soul, hit that like, drop a comment, and share this message. If you're ready to reclaim your real identity and your rights, inbox me for help with your status correction. Louisiana ain't going nowhere. We are the blueprint. We are the bloodline. We are the land.
Y'all protect molesters more than you protect kids. That's why the family is cursed. Let's talk about the shit y'all too scared to say at the family cookout. You know who I'm talking about. That uncle, that cousin, that friend of the family y'all still invite over like ain't nothing ever happened. Meanwhile, the child gets told to forgive, Don't ruin the family. Stop bringing up old stuff. But nobody ever checked the predator. Nobody ever dragged him. Nobody ever said, you not welcome him no more. Nobody ever said that. Why? Because y'all value image more than truth. Y'all love the illusion of family over the reality of protection. You rather keep the secret than confront the sickness. And that's why your bloodline fucked up. That's why the family reunions feel fake. That's why everybody got demons they scared to name. Stop telling the victim to move on. Start telling the abusers to stay the fuck away. Until then, y'all not family. Y'all are damn cult protecting evil.
Let me tell you something.
Danger!
I've been looking into that girl that unalived that manager at McDonald's. I looked into her life. I went into her Instagram. I went on her TikTok. I looked at everything that she was going through. And I realized something. Mental health is a serious situation in the world right now. I want you to understand something, man. Mental health issues is a serious issue in the world right now. It's right up there with air and money issues. Think about what I'm saying. This woman was at home getting harassed sexually by the man she was staying with. In order for her to keep a roof over her head, he made her lay in bed with him. The man knocking on her door time again. And she, that's a mental health issue. Yeah, then you going to work and you battling the manager on your back, wondering why you performing so poorly like that. Don't realize it's some situations going on deeper than the human eye can see. Because if you look at her history, in 2022, Afeni Muhammad, the rising Phoenix girl, just pulled the same kind of situation at a Taco Bell where she tried to go off and got them do something on the job at somebody again. This time it just was fatal at the McDonald's. She done moved from fast food to fast food. She got all kind of cases out there. She ain't innocent. But it was a clear indicator that it was a deeper mental health issue going on that was never addressed. Allegedly, somebody worked with the girl and tried to get her help, but she didn't want the help. She ran from the help because she didn't understand what she was battling. She was battling demons. That's probably why the judge gave her a $25 million bail. Because on the kind of charge she got, she wasn't supposed to get no bail. That judge that went home and did that research like I did and seen that she just wasn't mentally there. And she definitely building a goddamn fan club with that Ice JJ Fish ass music she got. It's something about you, girl, baby. Ooh. She on there singing this. Man, you better listen to this woman. This woman telling you what's going on. She ain't there.
There's no new shit to do in the world. It's only like 5 or 6, 7 different foods. And they making all these other foods. There's nothing to do in the motherfucking world but distractions. Think about it. Every young nigga do the same shit. Every old nigga do the same shit. There's nothing to do in the motherfucking world, gang. They ain't give us too many assignments and shit to do in this world. Listen, there's nothing to do here. It's boring as fuck in this prison. Listen, it's boring, gang. What the fuck can you do here? Everybody do the same shit. Everybody run around doing the same shit because there's nothing to do in this prison. Listen, you ever been to jail before? Yeah, sure. And in jail, everybody do the same shit, right? But what's the difference between jail and here? Everybody do the same shit here. Everybody do the same shit in jail. It's the same. Gang, we already in jail. You locked. Listen, the warden in jail, and then you got the president setting the rules, telling you what to do. Right? Even in certain neighborhoods, they got time when you can go to sleep, when you can get up. Neighborhoods I live in, you can't can't mow your lawn before 7 o'clock in the morning. So they putting rules and stipulations on you everywhere you go, just like in jail. So how the fuck I'm not in jail? If you drive, you gotta go get a driver's license to drive. Just like when you in jail, you gotta get a hall pass to walk the halls. Stop playing with me, man. They police this bitch, they police jail, gang. I'm in motherfucking jail locked in this motherfucking body. What? The fuck you talking about, gang?
Well, answer this question. You ready?
I ain't gonna lie. Don't it look like it's some They Clone Tyrone shit going on in them motherfuckers? First of all, this motherfucker abandoned, allegedly. And then, like, it don't got the regular boards on it. And look at the door. Look at the door. That motherfucker like a vault door for real, gang. Nah, bro, it gotta be something up under here, fool. Look at that heel and shit, cuz. Like, I know I'm not tripping, fool. My mama could, for real, fool. There's some shit going on. And we're in the middle of the trenches. Like, oh God. We're in the middle of the fucking trenches. Like, what the fuck? Hey, 5,000 likes when I'm going in there, motherfucker.
And one of the features of slavevoyages.org since about 2019 has been a separate database on that traffic. So we've now got actually more voyages in the inter-American slave trade database than we've got in the transatlantic slave trade database. Now, these voyages, of course, were much smaller, and sometimes it was just one or two people as captives, but typically you would have maybe up to 100 or more individuals taken from Jamaica and taken down to Cartagena. And most of them, of course, ended up ultimately in the silver producing regions, because the traffic took them not only to Cartagena, but across into the Pacific, and then a separate voyage down to what is now Peru and Bolivia. And that, the facts are there. I mean, the data is there. We have close to 40,000 voyages now, sailing, operating in the inter-American database. So it's just that people haven't taken on board what the implications of this movement amount to. And what follows from that too is the fact that the main driver of the slave trade was probably not sugar at all, but silver, ultimately, coming from what is now Mexico, as well as Peru, and also gold coming from Brazil. And if you look at the data, you can see that the value of gold and silver output was always much greater than the value of sugar.
I'm happy that we're having this discussion because I remember reading your book. I even looked at the footnotes and you made a point about cotton. So cotton is now the crop in historical research. How important was cotton?
It was critically important in the 19th century, but it was not in any sense dependent on the slave trade. The striking demographic fact about the Americas is that the black population of the US, which of course amounted at the time of the Civil War to something like 4 million people, those people did not come from Africa. They came as a result of natural population growth.
Yeah.
The slave trade to the US was shut down largely in 1807, not completely, but largely. So if you look at the census data for the US in 1870, which is when black people were finally included, you'll find almost no Africans. They were, of course, native African Americans. And that's not something that people have taken on board.
Exactly.
Why are animals leaving Yellowstone? Bears, elk and bison have been migrating out of Yellowstone early, leaving behind lush grazing. Yellowstone is one of the most seismic active places on Earth, receiving 3,000 earthquakes a year. So why would animals be leaving now? The latest notable earthquake near Yellowstone was 2.7 earthquake in July 11, 2025, and the peculiar swarms that hit Stanley, Idaho in June. Yellowstone is only 230 miles away from this swarm. Since May 20th, 2025, the magnitudes have been increasing. A 4.0 earthquake occurred June 3, 2025. 1959, a 7.2 struck Hebgen Lake, Idaho. 1983, a 6.9 struck near this zone. 2020, a 6.5 struck Stanley, Idaho. Be prepared, not scared.
Now elk are leaving Yellowstone National Park in droves, thousands and thousands of them. They're following the grizzly bears and the mountain lions that started leaving last week, and it is baffling the scientific community. They can't explain why all these animal-age creature critters are fleeing Yellowstone National Park. You can see them here crossing lanes safely. You have men elk and women elk. The women elk don't have antlers. That's how you can tell the difference. But I called the park president, the head ranger.
What's that? Oh, animals are fleeing Yellowstone at a rapid rate? Tell me more. Yeah, there's been news story after news story popping up about animals leaving and fleeing Yellowstone. At first, people were saying, oh, it's just they're migrating. They need to get to a new area for a food supply. I don't think so. They are fleeing with purpose. This isn't about food supply, okay? If you see some of the videos, in fact, some of the grizzly bears are with each other, leaving in herds, which is very uncommon because grizzly bears don't typically go around in packs or stick with each other. In fact, the mother bears typically will eventually abandon their baby grizzlies. So what are we doing? Are these animals trying to warn us and tell us about a potential catastrophic event, such as, I don't know, a super volcano perhaps? Okay, oh goody.
Don't listen to that bullshit. He playing with all y'all. Everything he's saying, cap. And I got the proof to show it.
He plans on turning in this whole island into a Spanish colony overnight. That means there's gonna be a whole lot of ugly motherfuckers that look like him running around here with some hoes from Europe that ain't washed their ass in months.
You've gone mad.
This is Portland, Oregon.
The city where every
drug is legal. Drug addiction.
Homelessness, crime.
Shotguns in the trees where if you step the wrong place, it's
gonna shoot you.
I've been stabbed twice. I've been...
that was going on.
Exposes RZA Islam as a secret Scientologist.
We can call it a dossier. I got the dossier here on the Nation of Islam. I got a couple of them, but I only brought one. This one right here is about how RZA Islam is not actually a legitimate member of the Nation of Islam, but how he actually was a Scientologist, and he didn't go to the Nation of Islam until he got caught scamming for, as you can see here. And the reason I have the Wikipedia printout is because LA Times deleted the article after I exposed it, so I printed this out. I got the paper edition. In 2008, about 100 protesters gathered outside of the World Literacy Crusade's office. And if you don't know the World Literacy Crusade, as you can see here, that I got a screenshot from this YouTube page, the World Literacy Crusade. This is RZA Islam when he was young. This was a branch off of the Church of Scientology. And so what he did was, when he was in LA, they were scamming people, making them pay for housing vouchers for as much as $1,500, thinking they would be able to use them towards their rent, and the vouchers was fake. And then also he caught a case committing medical fraud because he was running the black high school kids, and I got his indictments and everything right here. And you can also check with a white man that I know named Jeffrey Augustine. He know all about it as well. He was committing medical fraud and then giving the Church of Scientology 10% of what they was making. So what he was doing was he was going to the black communities, him and his mother and his stepdad, Alfred E. Johnson, who was the biggest black Scientologist in the history of the Church of Scientology. And what they was doing was they was going to black communities and putting the kids on drug rehabilitation programs, the high schoolers who really didn't have drug programs. So they was telling the families, okay, this kid might be an alcoholic or whatever the case may be, and they putting them through a rehabilitation program. But really what they was doing was they was putting them through Scientology programs, and then they were falsifying medical needs that was not true in order to get money through the insurance, and they was giving 10% of it to the Church of Scientology. And then when he got knocked for that, in order to come from up under that umbrella, he went and became a member of the Nation of Islam. And this is when you see Farrakhan and all of these members of the NOI pushing these Scientology books and pushing all of these things. This is why. But that comes from Satanism. You know, no disrespect to the Church of Scientology, but the cross of the Church of Scientology is the Rosicrucian cross, which is the satanic cross. And the mind programs that they got come from Aleister Crowley, who if not was is one of the biggest Satanists in the world. He was involved in over 150 child sacrifices where he would actually cut the skulls off children and drink blood right out of the skulls. So the Church of Scientology is not somebody that I sure want my kids learning anything from, and I'm pretty sure black people wouldn't want their kids learning anything from them as well. And that's why you need to know who it is you're dealing with before you deal with them.
I've heard a few of
White people. Yes, black people know that all lives matter. But what I need you guys to understand is that being a black person in America is very, very hard. Although you all love to say, oh, nobody should see race. People are the reason that racism is still alive. Well, what kind of people are the reason? Black racists have no power, whereas white racists do. They have power because they are in positions of control, or they're in positions where they can influence the control over black people. Yes, that is very true. So to my friends who want to get on my videos and they're upset about the picture that I posted, oh well, I will not apologize for it, because at the moment, Black lives matter. They matter. Our media is showing you, obviously they don't. So for y'all that can sit around and say all lives matter, I want you to go put it on a poster and stand out on a corner somewhere. If we can get enough white people to show that all lives matter, maybe they'll stop killing our black brothers. Because obviously that's what it's going to take for the white people to get up and get tired of black people saying Black lives matter. So if y'all want it to stop, you get out there and do something about it.